All right, everybody, welcome to Mobility Monday. My name's Bart Hawkinson, physical therapist at Therapeutic Associates, North Lake Physical Therapy. Today we're going to go through a dynamic warm-up. There's been really good research in recent years to show the benefits of a dynamic warm-up routine, especially over a static stretching routine. Static stretching being where you move into a position, you hold for 15, 30 seconds. When you're getting ready to do an activity, so as a pre-activity warm-up, whether it be running, a gym routine, functional fitness, CrossFit, sports, basketball with your friends, any of that stuff. Going through the dynamic warm-up program has a lot of benefits in improving performance and probably most importantly, reducing injury. So we're going to go through my favorite little general dynamic warm-up program now. Now let's go ahead and get moving. Okay, so the first movement pattern we're going to do here is going to be a forward bend and reach. So I'm going to start with my feet shoulder width apart, a little softness to my knees aren't locked out. I'm going to reach comfortably up overhead, and then I'm going to bend forward, allowing my back to comfortably bend. I'm going to reach down towards the ground, just a comfortable distance, and reaching back between my legs like that, coming back up. You're going to let your body be your guide here as to how far you want to go. We want to move slowly and smoothly. We don't want to bounce at the end of the motion, but just give it a little reach. We're going to do this 10 times. And I'll just do 5 of these here. We'll do one more here, reaching up overhead, coming down, trying to keep the legs relatively straight, a little softness through the knees. Excellent. Next movement pattern we're going to do here is a squat. So again, feet shoulder width apart. My knees are going to stay right out over the center of my foot there. So it's like if I drop a line from my knees, they're going to go over my shoelaces. I'm going to keep my back straight. I'm going to send my hips back. Arms come forward and back up. Again, listen to your body. Go as deep as you feel comfortable. Some of you, your knees aren't going to want to go into a really deep squat. Others, you'll be able to go a little bit lower. And making sure that those knees track right over where your shoelaces are. Again, 10 repetitions here. Next one we're going to do is a rear lunge with a reach. So feet are shoulder width apart. I'm going to step back with my right leg, reaching up overhead. Again, listening to your body, only going as low as you like. Alternating legs, dropping down and back up. Notice that I don't bring my feet parallel with in line with each other. I keep them parallel but a little bit of width there to maintain balance and stability. 10 repetitions through there. Next, I bring my feet a little wider out. We're going to do a windmill. Arms come up overhead. I'm going to keep my back straight. I'm going to hinge at my hip. I'm going to reach my right hand towards my left foot and come back up. Hamstring flexibility should be the limiting factor here. So just going to whatever distance feels comfortable, making sure to keep the back straight. 10 times to each side. Next is we're going to move into a elbow to inside knee stretch. So I'm going to come back into a lunge. I'm going to slide my elbow down the inside of my leg, reaching towards the ground. Back knee comes down towards the ground. You can touch if you have the flexibility. Then I'm going to rest on my outside arm. I'm going to reach up into a rotation, reaching for the sky, and coming back up, switching legs. So reaching back, elbow comes down the inside of the knee. Good. Resting on the outside arm, coming up into a little rotation. You should feel that through the hip flexors, through the hip muscles. 10 repetitions on each side. Next is we're going to move into a no jump, no push-up burpee. So feet are again shoulder width apart. I keep my knees relatively wide. Hands come down to the ground. Legs come back up. Standing up. In your normal burpee, you do a jump overhead. We're not going to do this here. So core is set, sending my hips back, hands on the ground, shooting the legs back up, again keeping the knees wide, and coming up to tall standing. 10 repetitions. Next is we're going to do a power jump from height, for height. Feet are shoulder width apart. Weight stays back into my hips. I come back. Hands on the outside, coming up overhead, going for maximum height with this. And with these, I like to think about each jump I'm trying to get a little bit higher. Sending my hips back, knees are wide, and jumping up overhead 10 times. Final one we're going to do is a diagonal lunge with the reach, so simple enough. I'm just going to step out to the side, reaching up overhead and back. Stepping out to the side, reaching up overhead and back. Should feel a good stretch through the hip flexors. Front knee stays tracking forward over the toes, trying to get a little rotation through the back. 10 times to each side. All right, the second half of our dynamic warm-up here is some running drills. So we're going to start with a high knee. So I'm going to find a 20 to 25 meter area where I can run in a straight line. The first thing is just high knees. So I'm going to run. I'm going to drive my arms, trying to get my knees up higher than my waist here. So high knee drive on that. Second part of it here is a lateral shuffle. So I'm going to be back into a shallow squat position. Hips are back. Knees are over my feet there, and I'm just going to do a side shuffle there. Not moving too fast on that. I want to stay in control. Final one is a crossover step or a grapevine step. So I bring my trailing leg here over to the front, and then my trailing leg comes behind. So there and there, and I come down through that. And with these crossovers, I want to face the same direction for both movements. So I come down, and then as I come back, I'm going to face the same way. So that way I create symmetry through my hips as I'm moving. All right, final one here is a skipping movement. So just a standard skip, so high knees, all the way down and back. And I'm going to go through each of these down and back, 20 to 25 meters. And the final one is going to be a shuttle run down and back. So I'll have something out 20 to 25 meters out. I'm going to use the blue line here. I'm going to sprint into it, touch the line, and come back. So I'll sprint in, plant my foot, touch, sprint back, touch with my other hand. So using the space in here, sprinting down, touch, sprinting back, touching with my other foot and my other hand. All right, so that was my dynamic warm-up program. And again, that's a generalized program. The key thing to a really good dynamic warm-up is the best ones are going to be sports specific. So if you're doing a dynamic warm-up for golf, it should look like golf. The activities should be designed to replicate the loads and the stresses of the activity without overloading or fatiguing the system. So one for running is going to look a little different than one for basketball is going to look a little different than other sports. What we just went through is a good general. It's good for general activity, for exercise. For something more specific, definitely encourage you can reach out to me, reach out to your physical therapist, get some advice on tailoring one that's specific for your activity. All right, everybody, go ahead and get some good activity, get some good movement going, and keep moving.